I want to tell you a little story about authoritarianism, lack of common sense, lack of everything decent and logical. Protesters caused by a talk by Milo Yiannopoulos at UC Berkeley showed up and started going absolutely bonkers. And it led to the talk at UC Berkeley being canceled altogether. Now, I've not been talking about Milo Yiannopoulos' speeches since I think there's nothing newsworthy about them. He shows up, he's deliberately provocative merely to be shocking and offensive. He says things like feminism is cancer, gives irrational critiques of Islam that go way above and beyond the critiques I do here, for which I'm also sometimes labeled an Islamophobe, but that's a label I completely reject. But this particular speech scheduled for last night brought out protesters with smoke bombs, protesters who started fires, protesters who smashed windows. Around 1,500 people showed up to peacefully protest Milo Yiannopoulos' speech, but then a smaller group of protesters started a wave of absolute and total vandalism. All deplorable actions which I oppose. Police decided, not the university, but again, police decided that they couldn't guarantee Milo Yiannopoulos' safety, so officers canceled the event and escorted Milo off campus to keep him safe. No immediate reports of arrests or serious injuries. Again, this was for Milo's safety. How did President Donald Trump respond? Number one, it's insane that Trump would even respond to this at all. Of course, that's because, as we know, Trump, rather than reading briefings or reports, is watching TV. Fox News started covering this, and very quickly Trump was tweeting about it. Trump sent out the following tweet where he threatened to withdraw federal funds from UC Berkeley. Quote, "If UC Berkeley does not allow free speech and practices violence on innocent people with a different point of view, no federal funds." Keep this up for a second, Pat. Think about how clueless our president is. I mean, really, folks, think about how insane he exposes he is. If UC Berkeley does not allow free speech, first of all, this was a security decision made by police on the campus. It's not at all an issue of free speech. It was canceled because Milo was unsafe at the determination of law enforcement. But again, what does it have to do with free speech? No one has a right to speak at a university. Now, I happen to agree with the idea that if you support the concept of free speech, you support it for everybody, short of directly inciting violence on individuals. And we have to support it for someone like Milo Yiannopoulos as well. However, this is not an issue where anyone is given the right to speak anywhere they want. I'd love to give a speech at Harvard University. They haven't invited me. Are they limiting my free speech by not having invited me? We have a very specific situation here where the Republican club wanted Milo to speak and they booked him. And for security reasons, police decided it wasn't safe for him. What on earth is Trump talking about?
And the whole reason this is becoming a big news story is because Donald Trump decided to talk about this on Twitter.
Yeah.
The whole reason why is because he keeps threatening to take away federal funds from universities or sanctuary jurisdictions. And then even in Chicago, he threatened to enforce martial law.
Yeah, it's absolutely insane. And that's the real part I want to get to. The free speech thing. It's like, yeah, Trump understands free speech no better than your average internet basement dweller. But think about what Trump is threatening to do. Take away federal taxpayer money from a university because police determined that Steve Bannon's buddy from Breitbart, Milo Yiannopoulos, was not going to be able to safely speak. It's not even clear this would be legal, but that gets me to something really important. Remember, everything is legal until the Republican-controlled House and Senate actually does something about it. That applies to Donald Trump violating the Constitution's emoluments clause. That applies to Donald Trump threatening to take away federal funds from a school based on a decision made by police about the safety of a speaker. You've got here a situation where Milo has a right to speak. If we believe in free speech, we believe in it for him as well. That doesn't mean that police saying it's not safe for you is a restriction on free speech. And certainly, you know, this is Trump's America. This is an America where the president sends out tweets based on what's on Fox News rather than actually being a sort of rational, temperamentally fit person. Trump's consciousness is dictated by television, which, as we heard last week, he's watching constantly to the point of concerning his White House staffers. This is America under Donald Trump. And, I'd like to think this is going to end at some point, but I think we've got to get used to this nonsense because it is happening and it's going to continue to happen.
GameFly is sort of like Netflix for video games. They have over 8,000 new and classic games for Xbox One, Xbox 360, PS4, PS3, Wii, and a bunch of other platforms. And you can play as many games as you want for one monthly fee. And if you find some games you want to keep, you can buy them for a low used price. There's never any due dates or late fees. And our audience can get a free 30-day trial at gameflyoffer.com/TDPS. The games are shipped directly to you with return envelopes included. There's no contracts, and you can rent games through the mobile app. Get the free 30-day trial for the David Pakman Show audience and support our show by going to gameflyoffer.com/TDPS.